Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Moxxie Coaching Podcast. My name is Michelle, and I'll be your host as we explore what coaching is and how it can help you create your best life. If you're anything like me, it's important to you to give back in some way. Maybe it's volunteering in the soup kitchen. Maybe it's donating $1 million to environmental research. It doesn't really matter. I started coaching and podcasting because I'm just one person who can only do so much alone. And I realized that through coaching and through podcasting, I could help and support those of you who want to do good works and exponentially increase the amount of good that I'm able to do. So if this sounds like you, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Be well. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Moxxie Coaching Podcast. I am sitting here on a Friday afternoon, cloudy again, with my supervisor, Miss Bits. And, she just looked at me like, you need to get back to work. Wow. Anyway, just kind of chilling here, and I've been thinking about trying to bring in some different things to the podcast. And so I thought, since this is going to post during what is probably going to be a little bit more of a quiet week, I would test this type of podcast episode out on you all who are still hanging around. So this is what I'm thinking. As Moxxie has grown and evolved, it has really evolved from a strictly coaching-based business to a tarot and coaching-based business. And we worked our way through all of the tarot cards in the deck, and we've learned a lot about the tarot, but we haven't really done a lot of coaching, so to speak. And I was trying to think of a way that we could maybe blend the two, meaning, how can we continue to bring the tarot into the conversation? How can we continue to expand our knowledge of the tarot and our interpretation of the tarot without figuratively beating a dead horse and just, repeating all sorts of tutorial information? I want this to be practical and valuable to everybody from both the perspective of, learning how to use the tarot for self-coaching, but also while we are in this process, making the process itself a valuable one. So what I came up with is I went ahead and spent a few minutes just sitting, meditating, and then I pulled out my tarot cards. And I was looking for a little bit of guidance, and basically what I was looking for was the card that represents something valuable for the collective to learn or hear this week. And the card that I chose was the Three of Pentacles. So I think what we'll do is we're going to talk a little bit about the Three of Pentacles and refresh your memory about what the card is. But then we're also going to talk about the practical applications of the Three of Pentacles in the world today, and how we might be able to work with the energy of the card. Before we jump in, though, I wanted to remind you to hop onto the website and sign up for the free reading drawing if we are interested in having your name into that drawing. Basically what I do is it's just a subscribe form, and anyone who is on the subscribe form is eligible for the free reading. So if you sign up for this month, you're still going to be on the list for next month. I'm not going to make you go back and forth and sign in all the time. So just trying to make it simple, but if that's something that you might be interested in, please do that. Hop over and sign up, and we'll see what we can do. I also wanted to remind you that if you are a visual learner, you may find the YouTube channel helpful. It's similar content to what we've gone over in the past year on the podcast, but it has slides and that type of thing. So I know some people are just very visual learners and it's just easier that way. So if that's something that you're interested, please feel free to hop on over there. Okay, I have another helper here and I am being completely lazy today and lying kind of in my little meditation corner as I record this. So Miss Bits, my supervisor's over on one side, and Tucker, my buddy, is hanging out on my lap and decides that he wants to nuzzle up to the microphone. So we'll do our best. All right. So the card that I chose was, as I said, the Three of Pentacles. Did I say that? If I didn't, it's the Three of Pentacles. The deck I'm using is the deck I referred to in last week's episode, which is the Crow Tarot by, I believe, MJ Cullinane is her name. And I'm thinking that if these go well, what I would like to do is use a different deck here and there because I want you guys to start really internalizing the idea of tarot cards from different decks being similar but not identical. If you've been listening for any length of time, I'm going to assume that you have some familiarity with the Rider-Smith-Waite deck and can either conjure up the image of the deck in your mind when I'm talking about the Three of Pentacles, or you can just grab one of your books or a deck so you can take a look at it and compare the images if you have any interest in doing so. The Three of Pentacles is a card of working cooperatively toward a goal. And the image on the Crow tarot deck that I'm using is similar to the Rider-Smith-Waite, but not identical. In this image, there's a crow standing on a stack of three pentacles. And it is using this stack of pentacles that it built cooperatively with the other crow in the photo or in the image to reach the cherries on the cherry tree that he is trying to get to. And these crows worked together. They built this little pentacle pyramid and they're both benefiting. So I don't think I need to tell you that the world is in a state of pretty much perpetual angst and chaos right now. And one of the biggest things that we can do as the little people who are just sort of at the whims of the politicians, of the lobbyists, of all of these things, one of the things that we can do is find a way to work together. And that's exactly what this card is asking us to do. Does it mean, working together physically to build something? Maybe. But it could also mean working together cooperatively toward a common goal. And I can think of about 10 different areas where the world would benefit from us working cooperatively. So in the context of just a general card that provides guidance to the collective for the week, what are we getting out of this card? Well, basically this card is asking us to ask ourselves where we can be a contribution to something greater than ourselves. And it could be something as simple as giving somebody a boost so they can reach that cherry in the cherry tree, But it could also be something much more impactful and much more meaningful. And I don't think it really matters. I think the whole point is to just simply embrace that energy, right? That energy of helping someone else, that energy of being a part of something bigger. What skills do you have that somebody else might need? Very often, we have skills that we just take for granted because there are skills. It's something maybe that we've always been able to do, or something that we've learned how to do to the point that it's just muscle memory or rote. Something that is that easy for us to do, but that may not be that easy for someone else. So what is it that you have in that realm that is a contribution, right? So my contribution, or the way I look at my contribution, my whole thing at this point in my life, is to be a positive contribution, to demystify the tarot, and to bring it into the realm of normalcy, into basically to normalize it for the use of our own personal development and self-coaching. And so I took a skill that I had, which is reading the tarot, and have been working to find a way to help other people with that skill. And because not everyone can afford, a full-blown tarot reading, there are places and times where I do readings for free, just because I want everyone to benefit from the insight that it can provide. And it takes me a half hour. So what is a half hour out of my life if I can do a reading for someone else and really help them come to terms with something, or recognize something they haven't recognized in the past, or have some sort of insightful breakthrough just through a regular old tarot reading. So I think this card is asking you to ask yourself that same question. What do you have that you can offer? And I don't care if it is a set of strong legs, and what you can offer is to help the elderly woman across the street bring in her groceries every day or every week, or whatever it is. This card's not asking us to do anything on a global scale. It's not asking us to do anything on, the superhero level. But it's just asking us to take a look around, see where there are common interests, where there are common needs, hint, hint, all over the place, and what you can do to, this is going to sound corny, but be a part of the solution instead of a part of the challenges. So I encourage you to not just automatically say, well, I don't have a ton of money, so there's nothing I can do, or I don't have a high power job, so there's no way I can contribute. Everybody can contribute. You just need to find what your thing is. If you're listening to this, you are either already an empath, you are discovering you're an empath, you are working on your empathic skills. You're here for more, I suspect, than just learning how to read the tarot. And if there is one thing that this past couple years has brought to light for me in my journey, is this somatic response I have to the energy right now. And by somatic response, I mean a response in my body, an instant clenching of this spot in my solar plexus. As I just literally before I started to record this, got news that there were no convictions in Governor Whitmer's kidnapping trial. You know, things like that are becoming everyday things that are very difficult to work through, that we need to make sure are not running our freaking lives. So, so at the very least, I think this card is, you know, asking you, what can you do? You can be either the leader or you can be the helper. It doesn't matter. But what is it that you're doing? What is it that you can do? Where can you make a contribution right now? And combine your power, combine your energy with that of everyone else, and for the purpose of moving us into a better space. You know, I'm looking at this as, you know, we are a little teeny tiny Moxxie coaching podcast community. And I don't know how many of us there are out there. I can't tell because the statistics are all over the place, and long story. It's hard to tell. However, let's say there are 500 of us. Well, that's 500 people. Oh, just putting a little effort forth and combining that energy to shift things even just a little bit. And I'm just one podcaster. You're just one person, right? There are so many other podcasters out there that are trying to do the same thing, you know, to raise up, kind of like to raise up the vibration overall through the development of this community. And so all of the other podcasters that are out there doing the same thing, you know, now we have an exponential increase in the amount of positive energy that we're putting out there. And so, you know, I don't need to tell you guys all of this. This is pretty common stuff. But it points to, number one, I think the accuracy of the tarot and the ability of the tarot to say it like it is. You know, basically, this card is like, hey, you all need to be working together. You need to come together. You need to figure things out because things are getting messy. And certainly there are other cards that would be valid for today, but this one is ultra valid. And while others may be valid, this is the one that came up. This is the one that my guides seem to think the collective needs the most right now. So I encourage you to embrace the energy of the Three of Pentacles this week as we navigate our daily lives these days. All right, everyone, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening and being here and all of those good things. I do greatly appreciate it. It's nice to know that I'm not talking to just myself. And just remember that together we can use that good mojo and actually increase the vibe, the good vibe. All right, you guys take care. Bye-bye.